Every now and again, you get a little racist comment here and there, but I think I become so accustomed to it by then. It's just like water for ducks back. I was there to play football, and I had some good mates to hang out with, and I just ignored it most of the time. But mostly it was very isolated.
Yeah, Gordon Nickerson. He was a great player. I went to Southlands with him. Him and I were forwards at Southlands, and we went on New Forest. We had to play rugby as well. But he was a great footballer. He went on to play in Europe successfully. Wherever he got involved, and you saw in his professional career, he was a great player and a great coach. Good guy. George Durnley, Dundee, they could all thank Gordon Nickerson one way or another.
He used to meet me an hour sometimes before training and show me some moves, and he didn't make it easy for me. He was a strict guy. He used to sometimes moan at me quite a bit, and I took it as a positive when he was moaning at me, and I never tried to. Or never thought that it was because he didn't like me. He always helped me. He always tried to get behind me. Took me really under the wing and helped me through that important stage of my life.
We played like a Coca-Cola thing, and it was like half a season, and that's when Gordon took over. And then that year we played like the full season, and that's the year we won the league.
In the under 10s, when you used to have those coaching clinics in Toti, Ramblers in the school holidays, we used to always go to his clinics and that. So kind of growing up and knowing he was a Forest boy, and getting him as a coach at Ajax, then I had him a coach at Sundowns. We won the league together. So Gordon's done it all. 4 league titles, 4 different teams.
Brammy Deleur come back from professional ranks, and I was a kid coming through, and I went with one of these fields and I went waltzing past him, and I said, "Geez, you should have given up years ago." I made some comment, and once or twice I beat him, and then he caught me with a tackle. It was so late, but it was so clinical. I was down, and he came walking over to me, and he said to me, "Not for the faint-hearted, Alef." I've never forgotten that.
He approached me and said, "Listen, I think I can help you with 1 or 2 things." And those 1 or 2 things became an extra half an hour, just him and I, every training session. Teaching me the little intricacies and the stuff that you can only gain with experience. And so suddenly I got a crash course, and it's really helped me. A crash course in being a professional footballer at like 16 years old.
George Durnley came to Ramblers as a young boy. He played through the junior ranks. And at the time that I'd come back from playing professionally, back into the amateur ranks, I actually took a player like George Durnley under my wing, and I used to play with him after training. He was such a hard worker. He used to put so much work in, and he reaped the benefits from that.
And it's the little bits and pieces that I learned from a guy like Brummy that I just felt was my role to pass on to a guy like him. And I passed it on to a couple of guys, not just Dylan.
George came and asked me how to do nutmegs. He was a lighty coming through. He'll take you off the ball, and they'll follow your eyes. But they'll always follow your eyes. You look over there, he'll think about what's happening over there. And George loved it. He was a showboater of note. Great character of the game.
Brummy had a huge role to play in my career. He was a great coach. I even remember under 8s, he took the game so seriously that at halftime we were losing a game, and he lined us all up and he gave us a little smack on the bum. So that was quite a laugh.
You see like a guy like Dylan Shepherd, when he was 8 years old, we used to go and watch him play. We were like, wow, this kid's unbelievable.
George even took me in when I was 18 to Cape Town, when I joined 7 Stars. He took me in to come live with him. So, we always had those positive influences, and that's them back day from the Ramblers days, when we used to watch George as a youngster playing there, and we always strive to be there one day. And, it's great that you have friends like that, that you played at the amateur football.
But you could see the guys who absorbed it, who thought about it and thought, that can help me. And a guy like Dylan, who played for Bafana, and in my opinion is probably the most skillful white player to ever play for Bafana. And then there were the guys who listened, but didn't really listen, and those are the guys who didn't make it.
When you don that jersey for the first time, those butterflies and the nerves that go through your system. But once you get on the field, the pride in that we used to have playing for the national team, it was unbelievable. To get to that point so early in my career, I was very fortunate. My mother was 100% behind me. If it wasn't for her pushing me the way she did, I would have never been in that position.
Certain teams obviously had more money. I grew up with Durban City Youth, and we had a lot of numbers. But it was no doubt, in my era particularly, we never beat Ramblers. They had more teams than us, but they were tougher, they were stronger,
That's right,
and to be honest, they were better.
A lot more competitive.
Guys come up to me, and I've heard this a couple of times, where they say, "Oh, so-and-so was better than you. He could have made it." And that is the fundamental difference. There was a lot of guys probably better than me, but the hardest thing was the discipline. It was on a Friday night, knowing that all your mates were going out to Monk's Inn, you know, and you had a game on the Sunday, and guys would be saying to you, but you're only playing on Sunday. But I had a 48-hour rule. You know, I didn't go out 48 hours before a game.
The players that really made it out of everyone, I mean, they speak for themselves. George Durnley, Sean Dundee, I don't know if you, Darren Buckley, Dylan Shepherd, they were obviously the ones that chose football over drinking and partying and stuff like that. But there was also a lot of wasted talent that's, I'm not going to mention too many names of upset people, but there's a lot of wasted talent in Montclair as well. They could have easily gone pro. A really cool place to grow up in.